Next up, two teams that are not doing as well as they wanted to come start of the season. You got the Blue Jays and the Padres. So we're talking not even different divisions now. We're talking different leagues. Blue Jays are fourth in the AL East. They're 29 and 26. And the Padres are fourth in the NL West. They're 25 and 29. So the Padres have a losing record. Blue Jays still have a winning record, but they are in one of the tougher divisions going on right now. Padres have a 0-run differential, which isn't good. And the Blue Jays are plus 25. And the Blue Jays are good in one-run games. Padres are bad in one-run games. Trev, I'll let you lead off. Any initial thoughts about these two teams?
I think I have a take here that's going to be very controversial.
Wow.
So I'm hesitant to share it because I don't know if I necessarily believe in this take, but it entered my head right away. The Blue Jays are full of guys, and they perform better than the Padres. Let's just get that out there in the open right now. Like, this has been a better team than the Padres. The Padres' offense has been absolutely atrocious. And I'm looking at the roster, and I'm thinking, well, shit, they already paid all of these guys. Like, I'm not saying that like these guys aren't motivated. I'm not saying that. They're going to go to the park, and they're going to, be professionals and do their routine and everything like that. But when you got a bunch of guys who are still looking to get paid and know that they got to continue, like, to actually put up numbers and it really matters for them, I think there's a little bit more dog in those kids, right? Like, it has to be that way. Matt Chapman is on a contract year. Vladdy hasn't got paid. Bo hasn't got paid. Brandon Belt is, he's already got his thing. He's been going off lately. Like, is there a chip on his shoulder? There's just, like, Alejandro Kirk, there's just, these guys still have to perform. They've put pressure on themselves by, like, saying some things in the media. We don't have to always bring that up, but, like, I feel like there's an edge to the Blue Jays that I don't know if the Padres necessarily will have, just because of the fact that a lot of these guys are locked up for the next, like, 6 or 7 years, some guys longer than that. So that's my non-statistical, but I think it does matter, take on these two teams. Like, it just seems like there's some hungry dudes over here, and there's some guys that have been fed a lot. They got a lot of hungry dog. What farmer's dog in them? Do you know what I mean?
I think I know what you mean.
Does that make any sense to you guys?
No, but like, even going to, I was just laughing because remember,
it does. It does. Don't fucking give me that.
remember Cronenworth got an extension. It was like 7 for $80, and we were like, all right, boring. Like, for the Padres, that was nothing. That they are, I said fade the fade before. Machado's
they're all locked up, bro. They could just go. They're counting their money every day in their locker room. They're just like, oh, ew, what's this $50 bill doing in my wallet? Gross.
They show up in the locker room and they have money counting parties. You think that's what's going on in San Diego?
Oh, have you been in a big league clubhouse?
Okay, Trev. Wow. Yes, and I almost saw Bryce Harper naked. The Padres, they get Manny Machado back soon. They're saying he could be back Friday. He is a big piece for them. They are the most top-end talent team in baseball. Tatis took a little bit to get going. He missed a year of ball. He showed the signs versus the Yankees. I saw some signs from Padres Twitter last night. No, I'm not. You can raise your hand, but you keep it up there. You're out,
Who's
Pop.
the one guy that's not paid yet for the
Juan
Padres?
Soto, and he's the guy
what's he
hitting.
doing?
Yeah, I get it. We will look up at one point this season and say the Padres are on a 12-2 streak, something like that, and get back in the mix. For the Blue Jays, man, part of me doesn't love saying this because, boy, are they feisty on the internet streets, but, like, what have you done, Jays? You got your coach fired last year. You're sitting towards the bottom of the division on any given night, and depending if you or the Red Sox win or lose, and, like, I don't know, like, the Rays and Orioles, I think they're in a different class. The Yankees are hoping to be in a different class. That I don't know. Like, if the Padres kick into gear in the next 2 weeks, I think we'll start dreaming of, like, the second place Padres. The Blue Jays they've kind of been in gear, and it feels like second place can't happen for them. So that's more divisional than team targeted.
But what have the Padres done? You're talking about what the Blue Jays have done. What have the Padres
They went to
done?
the
They made it
CS
to the
last year.
NLCS?
Yes, that compared to what the Blue Jays have done, that's incredible.
It's comparable.
No.
What, one extra series?
Blue Jays haven't won a series. I don't think they've won a game.
To be honest with you, like, I know Jimmy hasn't given his thoughts yet, but I think this is a no-brainer. But I'll let Jimmy go.
The only thing hurting Toronto is their division. I mean, they're performed well. They have 7 of their guys have OPS plus above 100. They have good offensive numbers. They have a team batting average of 266, team OPS of 755. Like, they're just in a tough division. Even their starting pitchers, besides Manoah, none of them are terrible. Kikuchi's got a bad one, but you look at just ERA. Their bullpen hasn't been terrible. They're good in one-run games. They play a lot of hard teams, and it feels like some nights just it's not there. Or actually, it feels like the Blue Jays, and correct me if I'm wrong, Blue Jays fans, it feels like they go through like a good homestand, a bad homestand. I probably could look up the numbers, but it just kind of feels like, are they traveling and, on a heater, or like it just like their mood lingers almost, and they can't just wake up and be a goldfish, and forget it and move on. The division is the only reason I would choose the Padres. I think they've done way more. I think the Blue Jays have done way more. But I don't know. Yeah, I'll take the Blue Jays. I think they're going to make the postseason. They're going to 3 teams from the East probably will.
I guess
maybe not.
Adding to your point, or spinning off of your point in just a different light, it feels like if this was boxing, Dan Canobio, that like the Blue Jays, were 3 or 4 rounds in and they've been boxing and kind of doing their thing a little bit, and they're not winning the fight. The Padres are 3 or 4 rounds in. Feels like they haven't done anything that they're supposed to do right, and they're still in the fight. So for me, like, if I'm in that corner, you have a little bit more hope, because if it clicks...
What fight are the Padres in right now?
They
They're
haven't
8 games back in the division, bro.
And where are the Blue Jays, dog? Like, 9. So if you're the Padres, you haven't really had much go right. You're supposed to have a historic top 4. You said that 3 of those guys were going to homer in multiple games this year, multiple times. And, like, this offense hasn't done a thing.
That's before the money counting parties. They started that up.
The Blue Jays have better the Blue Jays have better odds right now to make the postseason than the Padres, according to, like, Fangraphs and Baseball Reference. And then once they're in. So I think I'm taking Toronto.
Okay.
I'm taking Blue Jays, and right now it's not even particularly close for me. I'm not saying the Padres can't turn it around. Like, they obviously have the players on their team to put together a run. They look great. I'll hand it to the Padres. You beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. That's awesome. That was great last year. It looked really good. But it's a new year, and they haven't gone the way you thought they were going to go. I think the Blue Jays have another level. All their starting pitchers have made every single one of their starts. I think that's something that's cool and we didn't talk about. Manoah has obviously been, Manoah's been affected by the pitch clock. That's what everyone's saying. Can you figure that out, please? Like, I guess you didn't have a lot of time to figure it out, but let's get it going. So I expect him to come back to, at least a little bit more average. He's been pretty bad. I'm taking the Blue Jays.
I'm Padres, and Jim, I don't know if you were looking at Baseball Reference. Fangraphs actually has the Padres with a higher chance to make the playoffs.
Oh yeah, Baseball Reference has the Blue Jays at 59%. And the Padres at 38%.
This has Padres at 59 and Blue Jays at 49.
49.5.
So it's an interesting combo.
Yeah. I mean, Toronto is in 6th place in the AL. Like, they're not really having they have a winning season. If I was a Blue Jays fan, I'd just be like, get me out of division games or start winning some division games. You're there. It's more the company you keep. Padres have just been disappointing no matter where they're playing.
I think I've taken all East Coast teams so far. Oh my goodness.
That's what's in your soul.
Fun stat I didn't say about the Rangers and the Rays is those two teams are a combined 16-2 versus the AL Central.
Oops.
That's the great division at Central. They're crushing it right now. Those Tigers, they're pesky.